Holy shit, dude.
What an episode.
I mean, full disclosure, we're recording this right after we wrap with Paul Felder. Thomas, am I wrong in saying that might have been our best episode ever?
It's very possible. Great guy.
Oh my God.
Charismatic, great beard.
Home run hitter.
You might know Paul Felder if you haven't heard of him.
For one, shame on you.
You might know him from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
One of the greatest shows of all time.
You might know him from being a commentator, or you might have seen him on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
The handsome guy with the red beard.
The worldwide leader in sports.
Oh, yeah. I think that's ABC. Well, yeah, that's ESPN.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Regardless. Great episode.
Irregardless.
He's fantastic. Paul Felder, also, top 10 lightweight in the world, by the way. You might have seen him fight in the UFC.
Perennial title contender.
Yeah, so, whenever he fights Conor McGregor in the near future, bet on him.
Also handsome.
I'm going to read a couple reviews.
Oh, shit.
That we got
two some reviews. People are liking the show. And also, please leave a review. Yeah. It helps out so much, man. You have no idea.
It does. It helps the boring Inside Baseball podcast shit. It helps the algorithm on iTunes. So the more we get reviews, the more it goes up on the charts. Which we're fucking killing the game right now. So let's kill it even more. 5 stars from Avid Acid Chick. Oh. This is left today.
What's up, dude?
Today.
Is she single, bro?
You know what? Her name is actually Avid Acid Chick, 51120. So she might have made it in her account today.
Ooh.
I don't know. Either that or that's just how the review reads. She says, "These guys are fucking amazing. I look forward to every episode. It keeps the demon on my soul at rest."
Damn. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I think she was on some acid when she wrote that.
I like that.
And then we have from Grant Tholomew.
Hold on. Grant?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Grant?
Yeah.
The Grant that we used to hang up on?
Yeah, we used to call him a lot, and then he unfriended me on Facebook and blocked me, so I stopped communicating with Grant.
I'm still confused by that. I don't understand.
I don't understand it either. I like Grant. I think.
Yeah.
His review is 5 stars. That's the name of the review.
Okay.
And it says, "Why did Thomas unfriend and block Grant?" Which is his way of rubbing it in my face that I can't communicate him and just ask him what's going on.
But
hey, by the way, Paul Felder's my boy now, Grant.
All
I will sick him on you.
Do you want to call Grant right now?
No, I don't. Not at all.
A different day.
Anyways, Paul Felder, he'll have a fight announced soon. I'm sure of it. Y'all watch him. He's one of the best fucking commentators for all these fights. I believe he's working this week at some point.
He is.
I think that's why he's there. Wednesday, tomorrow, whenever that is, compared to this, when you're listening to this. Fucking great episode. We're not going to give you a whole fucking spill, but hey, go to www.audible. You don't have to do www. It's 2020.
That's true.
Go to audibletrial.com/Rushmore podcast. Get 3 free books, 30-day free trial. And fucking,
Do you have what kind of books can I get?
What kind of books can you get?
Yeah, I'm interested in the product.
Guy Fieri cookbook. You can listen to the audio version.
You're trying to piss people off now? That's adorable.
Man, the Bible.
That's pretty sick. That's a pretty sick book.
How about...
What about the Quran?
The Tao of Jeet Kune Do.
Okay.
Bruce Lee's diary.
Are you sure
entries.
that's on there?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of pictures. I'm just going to read the pictures to you.
Dude? Does Paul Felder have a book? Hey, Paul Felder, write a book, dude.
Yeah, write a book, Paul. What are you doing? Yeah, y'all go check out the second Fight Milk episode of It's Always Sunny and see Paul Felder and Donald Cerrone shit and throw up a lot, and it's great. Enjoy the episode.
Love you.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and this is for Rushmore Podcast. Look good, feel good, enjoy.
Don't get Sky. That's disgusting. Get Tito's. All right, Paul Felder's here. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, Paul Felder. Hey.
Look who it is.
Oh,
sweet.
Yes. You look incredible, by the way.
You look fantastic. Great beard.
All right. Let's get all the dick sucky stuff out of the way first. You are both of one of our favorite fighters. I mean, it's one of those things like every single time you have a fight, we cannot miss it. We love you. You're as far as like fighter commentators, it's like you and DC or Todd. We love you so much. And we are so honored that you have taken time out of your day to do this dumbass show.
Well, you guys were making me laugh quite a bit on Twitter and Instagram. You weren't assholes about it. You made a joke of it. You made, things funny instead of being, butthurt about it. We're busy,
Oh, yeah.
You know how it is. Life is crazy, especially right now during all the shenanigans that are going on right now. It's tough, but you guys handled it like pros, and you kept at it. And I every time I saw it, I'd laugh at when you were posting swing and a miss again to get me on the podcast. I was like, no, I got to get on the podcast with these guys. They're
If
fun.
I remember right, I think you were on one of our Mount Rushmore of dream guests.
He was on both of ours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we sent him the clip. We posted it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're definitely my wife's favorite fighter.
I think that's how it started.
So for whatever it's worth, you're my wife's favorite fighter. She, you and Cowboy both. Our kid actually made a joke that like maybe you two fight each other next, and she was not thrilled about that. She was like, "You're grounded."
Yeah.
Yeah. She win or lose, it affects her day. Like she cries when you win.
Yeah.
She cries, whenever the decision didn't go your way. It doesn't matter. It's like the Paul Felder fight in our house is an event.
Well, good. I appreciate that. Tell her I said, I'm sorry. I'm just to give you guys a heads up. I am on hotel internet, so if it gets glitchy, it's probably me, not you guys.
Yeah, it's all good.
We just got a message on here that said Paul Felder's network bandwidth is low, but we'll figure it out. The audio sounds great.
Fix it in post.
Yeah, and we're only doing audio. We don't do a video podcast.
Oh, okay, good. So we're sounding good, then it's not really too much of an issue.
Yeah, your image will freeze up and you'll get laggy, but as long as the audio is good.
Guys, I got some hotel wine that I bought down in the lobby. I see you got a PBR there. So
yeah, cheers.
The restaurants were actually open down here. We're all nervous. Like in Florida, they're kind of opened up, so things are slowly opening up, and we got to walk around with these things on in the hotel everywhere we go, and it's wild.
We're in Mississippi, so
yeah,
we're fucking
good, right? I mean, it's probably
we're wide open over here too.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania and in Philadelphia, and it is not wide open. It is.
But I mean, I don't know. Like in more densely populated areas, I guess it does kind of make sense.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like, because that could be absolute disaster if like shit starts spreading in there. But like Mississippi, I mean, the population density.
Yeah, we got social distancing with fucking fields and shit.
Yeah. When you got a truck that's jacked up 8 feet off the ground,
you're saying most people are isolated.
Yeah, they got enough ammo to last for like 2 years. Yeah.
Come with me.
All right, you ready to start?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome to what you say that.
Yeah, I say that, idiot. All right.
I like you've been here before.
Welcome to the Rushmore podcast. My name's Pepper.
My name's Thomas.
And we're joined by the Irish Dragon himself, Paul Felder, one of the greatest in the history of the 155 division. I mean, one of the best, probably the best fighter commentator. It's like him and DC are tied. One of our favorite people on the planet, Paul Felder. And he's back.
Fighter commentators, you're up there at the top, if not the very best.
100%.
And obviously one of the best lightweights in the world. Do you have any idea who's going to be next for you?
Man, it's funny you say that. I was just having a little meeting with a couple of my producers, and they were asking me the same thing. And I actually texted Sean Shelby as we were at dinner, and I said, "Hey, Sean, I want to punch somebody in the face." And he said, "Who?" And I gave a list of who I would like. So we'll see. We're making moves. We're trying to get something going. I want to fight during this because I feel like it's
a
something
unique
we can give back right now. You know,
it's a unique opportunity.
It's something we'll remember for the rest of our lives when we get past all this. We're like, remember when we fought when there's nobody and you heard every punch that landed? And plus, it's entertainment for everybody that's bored out of their mind, suffering in quarantine. For those that are like in New York City and some of these places that are densely populated, there's nothing to watch on TV right now. You guys even know that. Even if you're not as quarantined, there ain't shit to watch on TV as far as live sports is concerned right now.
Yeah, no, Saturday night was such a fucking breath of fresh air.
Amazing, man.
I'm very interested to see how well that pay-per-view card did. Because I imagine it did
I think it did really well. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think.
It did really well.
What sounds more appealing, fighting in an empty stadium or on Fight Island?
I'm super interested in this Fight Island thing, man. I think a lot of guys are. And I do not have any idea where it is. And I've been hounding everybody I know that would know. And so far, I've got nothing.
Yeah, Rogan,
it's so crazy.
Rogan said Dana wouldn't even tell him.
Yeah, it's so crazy that they're keeping it under wraps.
I was in a meeting with DC today, and he doesn't know either. And, DC's a former champ. He's in with everybody that you can be in with. I'm like, oh, I don't know, but I'm still working my way up. DC's a champ, this and that. No, he had no idea. And if Joe don't know, then none of us know.
That's so wild, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
I got Epstein. Well, I heard that it was the Virgin guy,
Richard Branson.
I heard it was one of his islands, and then I heard rumors that it was Epstein Island. I don't think it's Epstein Island. That sounds like it's yeah, that might be a little bit too sketchy. But
I don't
he also might still be there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely there. Yeah. You think that guy doesn't have an underground compound and he can fake his own death and all that? Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So we have the only fighter we've had on. We had Jason Knight on twice. We opened the Jason Knight podcast with a song by R. Kelly asking people if they got their passports and their shots in Ethiopia. He was freestyling, trying to recruit girls to come back to America with him. And about 40 seconds into that podcast with Jason Knight, he was like, "What the fuck are we talking about?"
Yeah. Well.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Rogan, Anik, DC.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh. Fuck, marry, kill. I'm probably gonna marry Anik.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Because he's my boy.
He seems like he's so nice, dude.
Man, I kill somebody though. That's where it's tough.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. They're dead, huh?
Yeah. You won't get charged with murder. You get away with it.
You can.
I'm gonna have to kill Joe because I feel like he's the biggest threat to me, and then I'll just have to fuck DC.
Oh shit!
That's
He'd be a
good
power
strategy.
bottom too. Joe
God,
Rogan.
Whatever you do, don't
Clip this.
Don't headline whatever you post on this thing. Paul Felder, fuck, marry, kill,
No.
so and so, so and so.
That's not going to be the most interesting thing on this episode. Don't worry about it.
We can assure you. Yeah, I was gonna say you could like romance Joe into like signing over all of his assets to you before you kill him.
Oh yeah, so you're right. I should marry Joe.
That's
I
good.
can't kill John though. I can't kill John.
No, you can't. He's so fucking nice.
Yeah,
He's such a good dude.
I'd like
Joe's a great dude too.
Oh yeah,
Trust me. Joe is actually he is a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Somebody's got all right. Maybe DC's dead. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he's lived an accomplished life.
But yeah, because maybe we will kill DC. Because if I married him and he got mad at me, he fucked me up. So I can't have that.
That's
you know what I mean?
true. Oh, John fuck you up. The only one you don't have to worry about fucking you up is Jon Anik.
Yeah, John knows for a fact he doesn't have a chance.
I got a couple interesting fan questions. We usually get really shitty fan questions, but people really showed out for this one. All right, Lee Singleton asked, if you had the power to do so, what rule in MMA would you change and why?
That's good. I would probably change the grounded opponent rule, where if your knee's down, I can still knee you in the face, especially along the fence, right? And I feel like, obviously that could go against me sometimes as well, but I feel like I'm in that position a lot where guys are just kind of playing that game because they don't want to get hit by my knees, where if they were kind of huddled up against the fence trying to work their way up or stay safe, I feel like I could really crush them. So I would just say there's no points of contact. If you're down, I can knees to the head. I don't like soccer kicks. They do scare me. I know it doesn't seem like that when you watch me fight, but that's one of the things. I don't want to see anybody get their face literally just kicked in and broken. But as far as knees, I feel like they're a little more controlled, and I would like knees on the ground. Yeah.
You have the baddest limb joints in the game. As far as knees and elbows, dude, I don't know if you like super glue razor blades to them like before fights or whatever, but it's just insane.
Headline: Paul Felder fucks DC and super glues razor blades before fights. Some of those old like Pride videos of Shogun kicking people in the fucking teeth.
It's so disrespectful.
Terrifying.
Just even recently, there was one over in Japan where the guy, murked a guy with a soccer kick to the face, and I think the guy ended up being okay, but it just looks like they're dead.
Yeah,
it looks like they're officially dead.
Yeah, it's fucking
not
scary.
Fun.
Just direct concussion.
All right, I got another fan question from Jesse Richards. I really enjoy this one. Have you ever considered changing your fighting nickname to Groundskeeper Willie?
No, I haven't, and I'll tell you why I haven't. Because I know another guy who I used to train with, and you guys, I'm sure, know him, Pat Healy.
Yep.
Looks much more like Groundskeeper Willie than I do.
Oh, I couldn't let that one be unasked. That was so good.
No, that's good.
Have you
That's
had?
good.
Have you
I
been
feel
Irish
honored
Dragon?
that they would associate with me with Groundskeeper
Yeah.
Willie. You know?
He's a
He's
badass.
a strong, tough motherfucker.
Exactly. And people think, because there was somebody that said, like, oh, that's kind of disrespectful. I was like, you don't know Groundskeeper
Come
Willie.
on now.
No.
Nah, he's a badass.
He's basically like the Hulk, because he's just a regular fucking dude until shit goes down. And he
he's
pulls up those
shredded,
sleeves.
man. He takes that shit off, and he's
Yeah.
diesel.
Those veins pop out. And you're like, oh, shit. Grounds are about to be kept, son.
Yes.
Keep the shit out of those grounds. All right, my 11-year-old asked Paul. I have questions from them. She asked, "What's your favorite fruit?"
Ooh.
Bananas.
Is that also your favorite fruit to fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't ask questions.
Yeah. All right.
No comment.
Yeah. Same. My 12-year-old asked, "What is your least favorite of your fights?" What was the least fun? She asked.
I would say the Josh Berkman fight wasn't all that great. That was one of those fights when I left. I was kind of a little disappointed in myself. I feel like I didn't get it going. I feel like that's a guy I should have finished. And a fight to kind of that was my least favorite because of the outcome was probably the Ross Pearson fight. That's a fight that every day that goes by, I'm haunted by that one. That's a fight that I took on short notice, that on any other day I have nothing but love for Ross, but I feel like I should have whipped his ass.
Yeah, I would say that if they put y'all two together now for any reason, you would be like a 6-1 favorite on the Vegas odds in that fight.
Yeah. And I was a pretty significant favorite even that early in my career. Because I was coming off my first Edson fight. I was coming off the Castillo knockout. So it was early in my UFC career, but I still had a good hype train behind me there after that knockout of Danny. And I wasn't really properly healed. I had the worst weight cut of my career for that one. I had a 4-week training camp, and no excuses, but I just shit the bed. I shit the bed in that fight.
Oh man, I can't. I just remembered how bad it must suck to fight Edson Barbosa.
Twice.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we watched it at Island View Casino over here in
Man.
Biloxi, Mississippi. We watched the second one you just had with him.
That was a good
months ago.
time. But God, that looks like it sucks.
We both had money.
Yeah, it's
on
not
it.
fun, man. He does.
Oh yeah.
He kicks so fast and so hard. And I pissed blood after both fights with him. So
Shit. Yeah, the casino we watched at, they had a sports book that was kind of new there.
You're the only fighter. You're the only other fighter that I've ever bet on.
But
oh really?
you
Who's
had-
the other one?
Dustin Poirier. He did not win.
Yeah, it was
But
against Khabib.
Your fight covered that other bet, so I ended up making
There you go.
Yeah, at this
$1.50.
venue, you had to bet a minimum of $10 on the fights to get into the venue to watch it. So we both bet.
Oh,
on,
really?
yeah, we both bet on you against Barboza.
There you go.
We generally ask people, would they rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? But for you, we have the suggestion of asking, would you rather fight one horse-sized Justin Gaethje or 100 duck-sized Justin Gaethjes?
See, I feel like the Gaethje
You can give it
angle
some thought, Paul.
makes this question a lot easier.
Say again. One horse size.
Horse-sized Justin Gaethje, so basically the Hulk,
No, yeah.
and then
Yeah, no thanks.
or
I'm taking the
100.
100 little ones and just trying to stomp them. to death. Yeah.
See, and with most of our guests that choose that, I'm like, you don't have the cardio for that. That's a stupid answer. But with you have the
I think you
cardio
can
for
pull it
that.
off.
I could stomp 100 Justin Gaethjes the size of a duck for sure.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. But we're asking like comedians that question that have never been on a treadmill, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll just kick 100 of them." I'm like,
Like, go ahead.
you're gonna get
Go
tired.
ahead.
Yeah.
See how long you last doing that.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Real
Hey,
fucking
Thomas,
exhausting.
don't even try to bully me into asking him the other question. 'cause
No,
I'm
we threw
not
it out.
gonna.
Yeah, we
Okay.
threw that
All
one
right,
out.
cool.
I actually replaced that with the fuck, marry, kill. Tara, my wife, actually came
Good.
up with the fuck, marry, kill for Cormier, Rogan, and Anik.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you're a favorite fighter for whatever reason, and maybe she was just like, I wonder which one of those he'll fuck, and I'll think about it
I'm
later.
still on the
That was-
fence.
That was
Every
a
time
good
I
one,
think
dude.
about it, my answer is changing in my head. 'Cause
Yeah. Shout out to Tara. That was actually a really good one.
Yeah, are you?
if I did marry Joe, the more I think about it, I mean, DC's got a nice house too, though. So
Yeah, they could all take care of you.
DC has 2 houses right now because
Joe,
he still hasn't
Yeah.
sold his old one.
Joe could probably get you some Teslas there.
Joe could do Joe. I mean,
House.
Joe is probably who I really should marry. I mean, I probably should kill John, unfortunately, but I just can't will myself to
God,
do that.
He would have such a great funeral.
It would be great. Everybody would show up.
Yeah,
I'd love to talk to John. He seems like such a good dude.
All right.
People would show up even during the quarantine. They'd be like, I don't care about social
Yeah.
distancing. We've got to be here for them.
All right, I got another fan question. This is also from Lee Singleton. What is your favorite old school American Gladiator event?
When they were like on the with the fucking pylon things smacking each other,
yeah.
or what's the one where they had to run through the
with
they were
the tennis,
like straight up tackled by people.
You remember the one with the tennis ball gun?
Shooting balls.
I just
at
forgot
him.
about that.
They're bringing that
Dude,
show
that
back.
show was hype as fuck.
It's coming back.
Where is
Yeah,
it
I do
at?
remember that show, and they're doing that tag show too.
That's
now,
what it
where
is.
it's like Ultimate Crazy Tag, hosted by
JJ Watt.
JJ Watt. Yeah,
I saw that.
that looks pretty intense.
Damn.
I saw Tyron Woodley's going on that Titan Games with The Rock.
What
Yeah.
is that?
That's like where they have it's kind of like American Ninja Warrior. They have like obstacles, but it's
okay.
all like strength based shit.
Sick.
And he's going on that.
Fuck yeah. Well, I guess they're starting to make good shows again.
Just
Because, I mean, it seemed like everything really sucked for like the past 5
yeah,
years.
it's like let's get this huge warehouse and just watch people push shit
Yeah,
around.
let's do that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what's easy about it. They just get a big studio and get a bunch of athletic people to come in and do cool shit.
I love it.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
entertaining.
So we have something pretty significant in common. We're both pretty Irish. I get accused of being redheaded, but I need your ruling on this because I don't think I'm a redhead.
Keep in mind he spends like 10 hours a day in the sun.
Yeah.
You're like a strawberry blondish redhead type thing going on there.
See, I got a red beard.
Yeah, see, that's how my brother is. My older brother has totally brown hair, but completely red beard.
Yeah.
Completely red beard.
I mean,
I'm the only one in my
Irish.
family that is actually redhead. And even me, like, depending on the lighting, my hair from when I was a kid till now has gotten a lot darker. When I was a little kid, I was a full-blown carrot top.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, it's gotten a little bit more like a darker red, like a brown. So
Being Irish, I got a couple Irish questions for you. Number one, what is your favorite way to prepare potatoes?
Man, I truly do love potatoes in many, many different ways. But one of my favorites is, believe it or not, when my mom and dad would make a ham and cabbage and they would boil the potatoes in the cabbage. And I would kind of just mash them up a little bit with the ham and cabbage and put butter on them. Is one of my favorites. Obviously, as an American as well, just good old fucking mashed potatoes is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it's hard to fuck that up.
With some heavy cream and butter in there is garlic mashed potatoes. But like as of now, the way I like it most, especially when I'm dieting and cutting, and I still get a good amount of potatoes when I'm, throughout training camp, is like just chopped up and cooked in a pan and roasted type potatoes with some good protein on there.
Yeah, I think us Irish people, if we don't have potatoes in our diet, we just die. I'm convinced that happens.
Bro, they feed me full of so many potatoes when I'm rehydrating, so I make weight, and then the way we do it is it's potatoes and a protein, and then a few hours later, rice and a protein. Potatoes and a protein, rice and a protein. Potatoes, rice. And I do that all the way up until a few hours before the fight. So every few hours, I eat a full meal of potatoes and like chicken thighs, rice, and some pork, potatoes and salmon, rice and such and such. So that's one of the things we do to get kind of once you do the rehydration process, I start smashing potatoes.
Do you just feel heavy as fuck, or are you so depleted that it's just?
So the way I used to do, even in my UFC days, like early on, man, we didn't know what the fuck we're doing. You know what I mean? When you first get signed, you're not hiring nutritionists. You're not doing anything. You're just sucking all the water out of your life. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty and so hungry. You just unleash yourself. And I would be bloated and feel disgusting an hour after making weight, go to sleep with a huge stomach ache, and wake up and eat a big breakfast and fight. Nowadays I have, my boy Chef Larios, who you guys have probably seen me and Belal make fun of, the big, tall, skinny kid that we all use to help us with our weight cuts. So now it's much more strategic in the way that I approach things and
that is smart.
and to rehydrate. Yeah,
'Cause
I used to just be an asshole, man. I'd be eating bags of candy and
crush a whole
pretzels.
pizza.
I've had ice cream. I mean, I was an idiot back in the day.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I mean, I would do that. 100%.
Well, I mean, shit. We had Jason Knight on before the second Artem Lobov fight that he had a few months ago.
Yeah.
That, those two fights are some of the greatest fights ever. And he came in, well, the first time he came in, and he was just kind of like, yeah, I've just been boxing and that's it. And you don't realize how, tough that is to just box as opposed to MMA. And he was just kind of like, I really have no idea how good a shape I'm in until I get in there. And then the second fight, he was like, all right, I'm way more prepared. And he looked great. And he was like, I'm way more prepared. I know what it's going to be like in there, because they were doing the bare knuckle boxing thing. And then, but he walks in with like a 32-ounce Coke from McDonald's and
McDonald's
like 2 double
cup.
cheeseburgers to do our podcast. And this is like 4 days out from the fight.
Yeah.
Now he won, so that's probably going to make him do it for the next one. But
that's the problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
you got away with it
because of the double cheeseburgers. You won because you prepared better.
But somebody
but
loves double cheeseburgers.
You can just eat whatever you want. Yeah. Man,
and then if you don't do that and you lose your next fight, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I got to get back on that McDonald's shit.
The superstitions in combat sports are pretty real, man. People do some stupid things, especially fight week, because they've never lost on it. Or, well, I've always done this. You guys know Brendan Allen, the middleweight that I'm teammates with, that he goes to Rufus Sport. He's from Louisiana. And that boy, he drinks a Sprite as soon as he gets off the scales, or he's drinking like a Dr. Pepper and all this shit. And he's like, well, I've always done it. So it's like,
yeah, it's not.
It's like, yeah, but now you're fighting like the best guys in the world, bro.
Yeah. It's tough.
But he's winning. He's winning. So.
Well, I bet a lot of things will change after that first loss.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't wish that on him.
Oh no,
I don't want to wish that on him. But
you mentioned Belal, but what fight was it that has fallen through like 4 times in a row for him now? There was something he was supposed to just fight recently, wasn't it? And it fell apart.
Yeah, he's supposed to fight Lyman Good, and I think that's the second time I think they've tried to talk about making that matchup, and it hasn't happened. He's itching to fight, man. He was just texting. I'm in a group with him and Jarrett Gordon, and we were just going back and forth because these whoops that track everything. So we're like in a group together competing against each other on a daily basis. Nice. Who worked harder, who burned more calories and all that shit. So Belal won for the day. So he's like, there's a new champion in the house, and
I love that dude.
All kinds of shit.
I remember watching fights like 3 years ago at Pepper's house, and my brother just walked in the door. But being like Belal Muhammad and Calvin Kattar, both of those two, I'm like, these are the 2 motherfuckers I'm watching like come up. And then now, obviously, everybody knows those 2 guys.
Calvin Kattar,
Kattar's a beast.
Yeah,
he's a beast. That was a beautiful elbow that he pulled off, man.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah. Oh,
and I love Jeremy Stevens too.
So do I, man. I worked the ESPN desk for it from home, and I had to pick the fight to watch. And without hesitation, I was like, it's Stevens and Kattar is the fight to watch on that card.
Yeah, and I don't want to say his name too fucking loud, or a goddamn twister might come through the living room. But Bryce Mitchell the other night.
Oh man,
god damn!
I thought he had that twister again.
Twice.
I called his first one. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this
so
dude is going to get this.
Dude, I was watching at home with my wife, and I was telling her, I was like, you have no idea how improbable it is that he's about to pull off this twister 2 fights in a row.
Twice in a row.
Yeah.
In a row.
Not only that, he had it in the first and second round Saturday. He almost pulled it off twice in one fight.
Get him some fucking camo shorts already.
Yeah, I hear
they are.
Yeah.
They are.
I know. I saw that. I'm buying those motherfuckers, dude. Yeah. Like, give him. I want all Bryce Mitchell camo gear. I will wear that.
And
shit
that's a smart move on Dana's part, right? Because that kid showed out, and a lot of people got on his radar. So when those shorts do come out, if they do start selling, people that are into camo, into any of that kind of culture throughout the United States, they're gonna buy that shit.
And hopefully that opens the door for a lot of other UFC fighters to like kind of personalize their shit too. Because they've been so staunch on like not letting people do that shit. But that was like the worst part of the Reebok deal was like okay, now everybody just wears the same shit, and it's
we got no personal style in there anymore. Yeah.
Like, it's weird when you watch like highlights or an old fight and you see all the fucking sponsored up shorts.
Yeah, you see Chuck Liddell's blue shorts, or you see Anderson Silva's yellow shorts. It's like that's who they were. And then now it's just everybody was wearing the same shit.
Or you see Condom Depot on everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Condom Depot for sure. What was another big one?
Car dip, dipmycar.com or whatever.
Dip My Car. I was sponsored by.
Hell yeah.
I had Dip My Car on there.
Brock Lesnar had one. That
I have no idea what that is, by the way.
It's when you can get your car coded in like an advertisement, basically.
Oh yeah.
So if you had like a company vehicle and you wanted your logo.
So you could
want Rushmore podcast all over a car. You could get it where they coat the whole thing in that.
Yeah, you still have their number.
Up, dude.
I don't think they ever paid me, to be honest with you. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say that for sure because they might have, and I might be throwing them under the bus for no reason.
They are avid listeners of this show. So.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure.
The fucking president, Mr. Carr, he listens to every episode.
Mr. Dip Your Car himself.
Yeah.
All right, there's one thing because I haven't talked to you about this yet.
Okay.
I want to talk about Francis Ngannou and how goddamn scary he is, and who do you think anybody besides Francis Ngannou is going to beat Francis Ngannou?
Daniel Cormier.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think Ngannou can beat anybody.
Yes.
Anybody in the division on any given night because he's got the touch of God in his fist. But I think there's only a couple people, and it's DC and it's Stipe are the only two guys that can pull it off. However, I think DC still has the more consistent chance because he's got he's so smart. I even talked to him about it today, and we talked about him charging Rosenstrike. He's like, bro, dipped, cut the angle, and been out of there and on a leg, and he would have been on his ass, or
he would have been on his back. Yeah,
out of that situation.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely. I think Francis Ngannou ends up on his back in the first 15 seconds of that fight. I mean,
guys, I love Francis, but did you watch the footwork? None of that is.
Oh no, that was
do anything right.
That was wild.
I know his coach. His coach is the man, Eric. But it doesn't matter. In the moment, he can still do everything wrong for a second, and just.
That's what I was telling my wife because I was like. Watch this fight, and he whiffs like 4 punches in a row, and then he lands that one. I was like, this guy doesn't need like perfect technique. He can get by off of just once he touches your face, you're asleep.
It's the same as eating like double cheeseburgers. You get by until you don't get by.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a double cheeseburgers of fighting styles.
He's the McDonald's of fighting. He's efficient.
But it's so fucking sick to watch, and I will watch him fight an oak tree.
Watch him fight fucking anything.
Yeah. I'll watch him fight a mattress. I'll watch him fight a broomstick. I don't give a fuck. If Francis Ngannou's on the card, I'm fucking tuning in.
But I think it's got to be hard to close that fucking gap from the grappling he had against Stipe to fighting Daniel Cormier. Like that wrestling gap there has got to be pretty tremendous.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people in the crowd be like, stand it up.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, there's big talk of, DC really wants the Stipe fight, and we need to get that done. And the issue is if it doesn't get done soon, what they're going to do is end up or at least putting an interim belt on the line, and that's going to suck for both Stipe and DC. That's why DC's been talking so much. It's not that he's trying to talk shit to Stipe. He wants to get it done so that they're both fighting for the actual heavyweight crown, and that some other shit doesn't come up in the interim. That's really why he's getting on him.
I don't want Stipe to end up in a Michael Bisping situation where he's got a fucked up eye that's basically unrepairable until he stops fighting. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't blame him either for making sure he takes every precaution. Your eyes, because I've seen Mike's.
Oh yeah, I've seen him take it out and put it back in.
Yes,
insane.
It's legit.
Yeah. All right, well you got some more fan questions shit over there? Are you ready to get in this topic?
I'm ready to get in this goddamn topic.
All right, Paul, we're going to get into a Rushmore. The way this works is we're doing a Rushmore of fights that never happened, that we wish did. Pepper will go first with his number 4, and then we'll talk about that. I'll do mine and then yours, and we just go around down to our number 1.
No, I had a list, and now it's on my phone, and I can't use it.
Oh shit.
But I'm just going to wing it, man.
Okay.
I'm going to wing it. For me. I had a bunch ahead. We even had a discussion tonight. Because I even brought it up to other people. I was like, I want to talk about fights that never happened in MMA that we talk about. So I got a bunch of them that I've had in my mind.
Well, my number 4 on my Rushmore fights that never happened is Eddie Alvarez, Michael Chandler 3.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of mine are still possible. Like they could still happen, but it just hasn't.
Yeah, a couple of mine are still.
I'm trying to keep it
possible.
I'm trying to keep it positive.
Yeah, mine are unlikely but possible on a couple of them. Now that you said that and I think about it, I'd like to see Paul Felder versus Michael Chandler.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's also still possible.
Yeah, Paul Felder's going to come on my list later, but I mean, Chandler Alvarez. You want to talk about like two of the greatest fights ever? I mean, it's probably probably as far as a fight. I think it's probably my favorite non-UFC fight.
Those two.
It was incredible.
It's a great fight.
I've turned people into MMA fans off of that fight.
Yeah, that'll get you into it.
It's like watching a movie almost. The way the tide turns and all that. Thomas, what's your number 4? You're looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot.
No, I agree with you. Those are great fights. I'd like to see a third one now. Still.
Oh yeah, they're both still doing great.
Yeah.
What's Brent Premise doing?
I have no idea.
I don't know what's going on with. I don't even know. Bellator is pretty much shut down until I don't even know when. Pussies.
Pussy. Yeah. There we go, Paul.
There we go.
Fucking.
That's gonna be the headline.
That's a company man right there.
Bellator is full of pussies.
Paul went on the show and just lost his mind. Fucking
a
Daniel
couple glasses
Cormier.
of wine, and then that was it.
Woo!
All right, I got some written down, so now I think I'm good to go.
All right. Yeah, that almost made me want to go with Dana White versus Scott Coker, but I'm gonna go.
Oh shit, dude, that'd be hot, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
By the way, Dana White. Oh, hey.
Yeah, he wins that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Cardio.
Boxing, all that shit. I'm gonna go with the Randy Couture that fought Tito Ortiz.
Okay.
Specifically, Randy Couture that fought Tito Ortiz versus Fedor. 2003.
That was one of the ones we talked about for sure. Was Randy and Fedor never happening?
Yeah, that's a shame. I thought about Brock Lesnar and Fedor, but I'm like, I want Fedor and Randy both in their primes when it should have happened.
But that might be a pretty good fight now. If
watch
we're
it.
talking as far as old dude fights,
I'd watch it, but I'd much rather see it.
But I mean,
14 years ago.
It would be so much better than like Chuck versus Tito now.
Yeah, that third fight shouldn't have happened.
I have Brock on my list against somebody else.
Ooh, shit. I like that. Yeah, he did not make my list, but he almost made it against Fedor.
I thought about him, but I don't know.
I think if you're not going to give if Stipe's not ready to come back and Francis needs a little time to learn some wrestling, let's get DC and Brock going. What's your number 4, Paul?
I'm going to say Ronda Rousey versus Cyborg.
Oh my God. How did I not think of that?
I forgot about that. Ooh,
that was up there. That was one of the ones I didn't think about. We started talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that is."
Damn.
That is one that.
What weight would you want that to happen?
Well, that was always the issue, right?
I know.
Right. That was kind of the dilemma. She was at 35, and Cyborg was obviously not making it down all the way to 135. But I guess when it would have happened, it probably would have happened at a catch weight, or it would have happened up at Cyborg's 45. Yeah. But at the time, we all thought that Ronda was the truth, right? Maybe she could armbar. And in hindsight, now we know, looking back, she probably would have got fucking smoked.
Probably. Very possible. But I mean,
but at the time, we didn't know.
Cyborg's first fight in the UFC was at 140. Remember, she cut down to 140 first, sir.
And she claimed she almost died in this and that. I also heard she was just kind of
playing it up.
A little emotional, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'm not saying it didn't hurt. I'm not saying that.
Did George Lockhart tell you that? I hear that. I hear they had a little touchy situation.
I also think when Ronda Rousey was like full on Ronda Rousey, and she was like, she would jump on people before they figured out what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, I mean, she was good at that.
Yeah, I mean,
she would overwhelm you.
Yeah, Kat Zingano, Sarah McMahon. She had several fights that were like over before they started.
Yeah, and there's a lot of those people. I feel like if they got a second chance,
they would have beat her.
They might have fucked her up.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see her against Charlotte Flair in WWE. Oh, but no Cyborg.
I thought we were talking about real sports. Are we talking about real sports on this? Oh, okay.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 on my Rushmore of fights that never happened is, ooh, buddy. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with this one because I got 2 that are just so hot.
Okay.
And no disrespect to Paul Felder, but my number 3 is Paul Felder, Justin Gaethje. Never happened. Still could happen.
Still very possible.
Do you? I mean, after I don't know. Things have kind of changed after. Like, do you want any piece of fucking Justin Gaethje after that?
Of course I do. Yeah. But I agree that's definitely a further away than it was very recently. So I see where you're coming from. That not too long ago, that was a very real possibility.
Yeah,
dude. No, that's still
that. It's still a possibility.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's got to be further down the line. But he's definitely just catapulted himself.
You're one of those people. You're one of those people. You could get a call for a title fight like any day of the week.
Well, especially during all this, what's going on, man. There's a lot of travel bans. People aren't going to be able to get into the U.S. for fights.
Who can work and who wants to work?
Could be interesting. That's why I was reaching out to Sean to kind of sneak in on a fight that I wasn't sure if it was going to happen, but it looks like it still might. So I don't know.
For what it's worth, and I'm sure you get it all the time, but I thought you won the Dan Hooker fight.
Thank you.
That one. That felt personal in my house.
I love Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I love watching him fight. But, yeah, I do think you edged that one out. I was kind of disappointed on that. But I also think – I mean, you are a perennial top 5. Like, in those top 5, they can fight – like, any top 5 can – it's so, like, log jammed at the top. Like, any of those guys can beat any of those guys at any given day.
Yeah, and there's still matchups we haven't seen that – I mean – Justin Gaethje, obviously.
One of them's going to come up later.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier would be a great fight.
Oh, 100%. Ooh, yeah, you and Dustin Poirier?
Yeah, you like that.
Love it.
Yeah, so you like that idea. My number 3 is trying to remember what order they are. All right. Anderson Silva that fought Stephan Bonner versus the George St. Pierre that fought Jake Shields in their primes.
Okay.
GSP that beat Jake Shields and the Anderson that beat Stephan Bonner at a catch weight, obviously. GSP went up to 185. I'm just going to say middleweight. Fuck it.
Okay.
He's a middleweight champion.
Yeah, I think you could say middleweight for that one.
Yeah, he's a middleweight champion.
Now, what happens if we share a fight on the same list?
You just
do I have to change mine?
No, you're good. Still your list.
Because that is on my list as well.
Yeah, it just means I'm your favorite host and we have way more in common than you and this guy.
So that was going to be my one of I was going to put that. All right. I'll get to it when I get to it, but that's on my list as well.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk more about it then.
I'd much rather hear your opinion on that fight than this fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What's your number 3, Paul?
My number 3 is actually Brock versus DC, which never came to fruition. And never happened.
That was crazy, too, because they had to be close. When they had Brock coming
They were trying.
Dude, you had to have
all
everybody.
Brock. It was all Brock that couldn't figure out what he was going to do. Or could he get off the sauce? Could he do his thing?
And the answer's no. And also,
clearly, as well as it should be.
Ask Mark Hunt. He's still posting about it every day.
Yeah.
I know, man.
And then he just left the WWE again. He's still contracted with the WWE, Brock Lesnar, but they just had an announcement. They just had he's not?
No, I'm saying he's not working.
They had like an announcement the other day saying like he's taking an extended. They had him lose his title, and they're like he's taking an extended leave to just go hang out and do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
He might be injured too, dude.
I guarantee you the talks will ramp back up, and then he'll try to play both sides, and then nothing will happen. Yeah. It's very annoying at this point. And he's a fucking what's the word I'm looking for? He's compelling. I mean, everybody wants to watch him fight. Whether you love him, hate him,
that's true.
Think he's a cheat, think he's not, whatever the fuck it is, everybody's going to tune in. And I would love to see Daniel Cormier scoop him up.
And he would. Oh, yeah. I really think he would. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, as good as he is, Brock Lesnar, at just dominating people, I think Daniel Cormier got that fucking number.
Yeah, and I also kind of wish we would have seen Cormier Jones at heavyweight at some point.
I think about that every day. That's not true.
All right. Yeah, that's a great pick, bro.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
My number 2 on my Rushmore of fights that should have happened that never did.
Before you give it. I don't know how we just passed this over because I wanted to bring it up to you for sure. Obviously, and we're backtracking here.
Okay.
Theater background. How the fuck did you get involved with Always Sunny? It's my favorite show of all time, by the way.
Yeah, mine too.
So, one of my favorite shows of all time as well, and it was before I ever was on it or ever met them. I got into that show. I was in college going to school for acting when that show was just ramping up. You know what I mean? People were just starting to talk about it. And obviously I was in school in Philly. So I was a huge fan, always was. And then I was out at the ranch training with Cowboy. And he was like, Rob McElhenney hit me up.
Holy shit.
He had met him at a bunch of fights, and he's a huge MMA fan.
Right.
Mega fan. And he was like, I'd love to come and hang out with you guys. He was working on a script that he wanted to write, and he wanted to get out of LA. He wanted to get out of California and just get off the grid and have some fun. So we invited him out, and he came out for 2 weeks and lived on the ranch in the RV, Cowboy's RV on his property, wrote the script, trained with us, went to dinner with us, drank with us, hung out with us. And I got to talk with him, and we all became boys. He was cool as shit. And me and Cowboy were just joking around one night. We're like, man, you got to get us on the show. We're just kind of joking around. I actually originally wanted to be one of the McBoyles. I was like, you got to, I want to be in a robe, drinking milk.
Oh, yeah, that's badass.
I want to somehow play that in.
God.
And out of nowhere, I guess months later, I had a fight schedule and everything. He's like, he sent us a script, and it was the revamp of the Fight Milk stuff.
Fight Milk, yeah.
He wrote me and Cowboy into the script, and I was like, oh my God, they sent contracts. We got to figure it out. And I fought the week before filming.
Wow.
So I was so nervous that I was going to get fucked up and then not be able to do it. So I was super nervous, but I won the fight, went back to Philly for a day, and then flew back out to LA so Vegas to Philly, spent a couple days at home with my daughter, flew back out and filmed the show.
Do you remember what fight that was?
It was Josh Berkman.
Oh shit,
wow.
that's your least
Maybe
favorite
that's
one.
why I was so cautious.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, that's my favorite show of all time. I would have been furious with myself if I just didn't bring up Always Sunny, so I had to pause the fucking Rushmore for that.
Yeah.
Also,
Rob
McElhenney, Rushmore of bodies that works for FX for sure. Now, incredible shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a weird Rushmore.
Yeah, very specific. It's him and Andrew Santino, and that's about it.
Yeah, those guys were amazing, man. That was one of the funnest weeks of my life. Staying in some hotel in LA, getting to go to Fox Studios and film It's Always Sunny. It was.
We've talked about it on the podcast a ton, but there was a time where I was living.
I also had a weird encounter with Tony Ferguson that week because I also got to go to the fights. That was Bisping and Rockhold was filmed the same time, and it was corresponding with, that's when they did the weigh-in, the fake weigh-in for the Fight Milk stuff.
Yeah.
Was also filmed at the Forum in LA for like during and around the time as the actual weigh-in. So the next day I was done filming. I got to go, the UFC got me tickets. I got to go to the VIP area and hang out. And Tony was also there. And he's like, me and him are drinking. We're at the bar. We're just shooting the shit. This is before Tony's Tony and I'm anybody. You know what I mean? And he's like, let's show each other a move. Let's you show me a move that you like to do, and I'll show you at the bar, and you show me a move. And so that was my one Tony Ferguson experience.
What did he show you? Did he?
He showed me this weird like.
action?
He showed me this weird like front leg scoop up their ankle with your foot, like you're almost going for a sweep, and then like ankle pick and go for the.
Yeah, he did.
It was actually pretty cool.
He did the fucking Karate Kid sweep the leg Saturday night.
Yeah.
He also threw sand in his face too.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He also jabbed his thigh, and it was so badass.
Yeah,
I mean,
Tony's
not
still the
effective.
man. Tony is still the man after that fight. So.
Yeah, I've been a Tony Ferguson fan for a year. I mean, I've said on this podcast several times I thought he was the true champion for a long time. When he got stripped for the injury,
reason.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. That was insane. They let so many other people get away with so much, and
it's unfortunate for him, man. I do feel for him because you go on that streak and you never really got the credit you needed. You got injured. You got this. The Khabib fight falls through how many freaking times? None of which is his fault. He didn't have to take that fight. He could have been a dick. He wasn't. He stepped up to the challenge, and
I'm a fan of the guy. A little strange, weird guy.
But, oh man,
I love it.
He's crazy, but that's him. You know, that's who he is.
That's like 50% of why I like him.
Yeah,
it's because he's so fucking weird. Love it.
What's your number two?
My number two on my Rushmore of fights that never happened is Joe Rogan and Wesley Snipes.
That is also my number two.
Wow, high five!
Wow.
Do you know the story behind that one, Paul?
No, but I remember I kind of now vaguely remember. That they were like going at each other a little
Wesley
bit, right?
Snipes was having some tax issues.
Yeah, they were offered the fight, and Joe accepted it. This was in 2006, I think.
Prime Joe Rogan and Wesley Snipes time.
Yeah, Joe's talked about it on this podcast a bunch of times, but he said straight up like he was worried he might get fucked up, so he researched what does Wesley Snipes know, like what is he trained. I think he had like a karate background or something, and he had never done any form of grappling formally.
Joe would have killed him.
Yeah, and Joe said he was like, okay, I'll strangle him, immediately.
Yeah, like no doubt. On the feet, maybe not. You know, Joe has a big Taekwondo background as well, though.
Oh yeah, he can kick.
State champ, son.
And he kicks like a fucking mule, man.
But he said something like he accepted it, and they were actually going to go through with it. And Wesley had all these tax problems, obviously, that he ended up going to prison for, didn't he?
Yeah, he
served
did.
some prison.
Yeah, he said instead of paying it, he said, "Fuck it, lock me up."
Yeah, and I think that kind of threw a wrench in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow it down.
And I mean, honorable mention to Dana White and Tito Ortiz, by the way.
Yes,
that
boxing match that never happened. I remember watching the whole lead up to that fucking shit when I wasn't even in the UFC.
Yeah.
Never happened. Who would have won?
Sam. Probably.
You know, in a straight boxing match?
In a boxing match? I don't know.
They might have pieced him up, man.
They might have fucked him up. Chuck Liddell interferes with an NWO t-shirt.
Oh, shit. You hear breaking glass and Chuck Liddell comes in?
All right, well, that was my number 2 also.
Yeah,
so Wesley and Joe Rogan.
We haven't overlapped like same number picks in a long time.
Yeah, that's generally how this
yeah, we should fuck after this. Dude.
Okay, no.
That's pretty sick.
That's generally how this chemistry works really well, is we don't like the same shit at all. What's your number 2, Paul?
Well, my number 2 unfortunately was already said, and it was GSP and Silva.
Yeah.
It was going to be my number 2. I'm trying to think if I can think of something.
Anderson and
we talked about so many other.
Who are some people that you haven't fought yet that you'd be super into fight? I mean, obviously everybody, but like as far as just straight up matchups go, is there anybody that you can think of that you would just love to throw your elbow in their cheekbone and make them bleed?
I'm trying to think of some guys that maybe have left the UFC that went.
Yeah, I was about to say anybody ever.
Michael Chandler?
I already said that.
Yeah, he said Chandler's a guy that you know.
Would you elbow Mighty Mouse for the right price?
When he was in his prime, you know, I would have.
That'd be good.
But that time lapse never really.
Oh,
you know what I mean? By the time I was kind of coming into my own, he was already bar fighting.
Yeah,
that would have been. Penn's gotten so weird lately.
That would have been cruel if they put you with BJ Penn like 2 years ago.
Yeah, because he's not even winning bar fights at this point. So
yeah, and I think BJ Penn versus Diego Sanchez, like that performance might be my like single favorite performance in UFC history.
I'd like to see that right now, though.
Oh yeah, I'd watch BJ and Diego.
Bring them back together.
Yeah,
let them fight again,
dudes.
Yeah, that would be
let them fight in like some backyard somewhere, though. I mean,
that would be a drastically slower fight.
Or make it like a combat jiu-jitsu match or something like that.
Yeah, I watched that at Buffalo Wild Wings in Pascagoula, Mississippi. I remember when BJ threw that head kick in the 5th round,
split his whole.
Yeah, and I was like, who the fuck? When did BJ learn all these years? When did he start throwing head kicks? And then he lands it perfectly, splits him wide the fuck open. He's like,
man, I remember at the time I was like that was at the time was one of the worst cuts I had ever seen.
It was so bad.
My God.
Or the fucking BJ Joe Stevenson that cut.
Oh yeah. That was the one where he was just masked. The whole face was just covered in blood.
Fucking period blood thing. All right, what's your number 1, Pepper?
Shit, are you ready?
Yeah, I asked you for it.
I feel like if we have crossover on any, it's going to be this one.
Well, we just did, and it was Rogan and Wesley.
You surprised me with that one. This is, in my opinion, it's the only number 1. It's Tony Khabib.
Yeah, that was my number 1, and it made me very sad. That's your number 1?
My number 1.
Of course it is.
Hey. So we all agree on that one.
Hey, by the way,
High
you're now the 3rd host on Rushmore Podcast, so we're going to need you to be here next week.
Yeah, we're going to do Doug Stanhope.
Just send me the Zoom. Just send me the Zoom link, guys.
You're officially part of the show.
Man, I mean, what the fuck, dude? Can we figure it But at this point now,
I feel like it's never going to happen.
I'm scared to book it again because we booked it for the 9th time, and then we had a goddamn
pandemic.
I feel like it's bad luck for the world.
I say
that's what I said a few times in interviews. I'm like, maybe this is just better. Maybe it is. And now he's lost. So now there's less of a chance. Maybe that's the world saying, hey, ease up on that fight.
I think now it's very unlikely. I say we do.
Let's do. Okay, no. Let's stay posy. Let's do Tony Khabib. Elon Musk is the commission, and we do it on the moon.
Yeah,
with moon gravity. How sick would that be? Fight with moon gravity.
I feel like Tony would. I feel like Tony already.
Case.
Yeah, I feel like he already trains on the fucking moon. He trains with zero gravity somehow.
Again, he threw imaginary sand at Justin Gaethje on Saturday night.
Dude, that was so fucking sick.
It would have been way.
Apparently,
cooler.
He's on this floor. He just here today. They released him from the hospital. The man was in the building today. I wish I would have run into him.
My favorite.
Go teach each other some moves.
My favorite UFC meme that I saw all weekend was a picture of Tony Ferguson, and it said, "It looks like Tony Ferguson just got out of a fight with Tony Ferguson."
Yeah,
dude,
it kind of does.
He got hit with like 30 shots that would have knocked me out for a fucking week. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to try to do – I don't know if it's going to happen, but they're going to try to do Gaethje and Khabib. So I say you do Conor versus Masvidal. Keep him out of the division. Let him fight Masvidal. And then you get Paul Felder versus Tony Ferguson. And the winner fights for the title.
And then you guys can only use elbows.
And Dustin Poirier is very sad, but we get him something.
I think Dustin's going to end up – it looks like he's still going to be fighting Dan.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Dan Hooker,
sick.
Dustin Poirier. Paul Felder, Tony Ferguson.
Hey, tell Sean
by
to
the
take
way,
the fucking
you're
week
welcome.
off.
Send this to Dana. You're welcome. I just figured it out.
I mean, I would love that fight. I just know that unfortunately we might have to wait a while for that one because Tony needs – and nothing against him, but he's literally going to need time off.
Yeah, that is true.
He broke his orbital bone, and I mean that's not a crazy layoff. That's probably about 8 weeks that he's got to.
Yeah, but you're ready to go, huh?
I had the same thing from the Hooker fight. I broke this right eye in 2 places, and
you convinced me. Felder and Conor on Fight Island.
Are we doing that?
And then Gaethje and Khabib.
I mean, it makes sense.
Let's fucking go.
Let's the battle
like
for Ireland. Battle for Ireland.
The plastic patty versus the patty.
All right, dude. Well, that's we all had the same number one. I don't know if that's ever happened.
That's never happened.
Everyone had the same
guaranteed,
number one.
especially with a guest.
That's clearly the number one right now, right?
I
with
agree.
all that just happened, it's just like that fight may never happen now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I do have. I was about to say this is the first time we've ever gotten through a guest, and I asked all my questions. I do have one more. Have you ever heard of Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast?
Mm-mm.
Me either, buddy.
So it's Shane Gillis and this guy named Matt McCusker, and they're both out of Philly. They're super awesome. And if you did this podcast and you had fun, we just got an email from Ari Shafir. If you did this podcast and you had fun, you're gonna have a blast on their podcast too. So I highly recommend you go on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast.
Send me their link.
100%.
I'm trying to get on more of these things with you guys that are trying to get yourselves out there and do these things, man. I appreciate this. This is, I like to try to get on there and give back as much as I can because, I'm in a lucky spot. I'm doing what I'm doing, and you guys have been nothing but cool, sending some love. And without you guys, without fans, without people doing media and hyping it up, we're nothing, right? Our shit is not out there. So I appreciate you guys.
And I mean, we're huge fans of you. And to be perfectly honest, like as far as UFC fighters go across the entire board, MMA altogether, you are our number one pick to be on this podcast because we knew that you, with the theater background and everything, like you understand what the fuck's going on. So you would play ball because, most UFC fighters would probably be like, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to them.
That's a weird question. Can we wrap this up?
You're fucking and that's why we went after you so hard, and we were so fucking excited, dude. Whenever you agreed the first time, I ran around my front yard, like yes.
I know. I feel so bad that unfortunately I then gave you guys.
I like it better
for a while, but
I like it better.
Yeah, it did make it more worth it and funnier.
Yeah,
good.
It's been incredible, dude.
We're getting the same thing right now from Josh Wolf. So Josh, where the fuck are you at? We're gonna start tweeting some
Josh
gifts
Wolf.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, we appreciate that Dream Guest link that we sent you, that little clip where you were on our Rushmore of Dream Guests. That was from last.
This is the first one.
Well, that was from no, we had Mark Norman too, and he was on there.
Oh, that's true.
But that was from last July that we did that episode.
Man, this is
All good.
incredible. Do you want to
Yeah,
start?
I'm glad I got
crying
on,
and
man.
If you would, last thing we're going to ask from you before we let you get the fuck out of here, because I'm sure we went over, I have not looked at the time, and that's very unprofessional. Could you cut any kind of promo, however you want to do it, just telling people to listen to Rushmore Podcast?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Paul the Irish Dragon Felder, and make sure you listen to the Rushmore Podcast. These guys are hilarious. They're awesome, and I had a great time with them, and I think you are too. Yeah. Yeah, and if you want to hear me destroy my my co-anchors and my co-hosts, and they'll never talk to me again, you should listen to this podcast.
I think they're going to be extremely flattered.
No, yeah, the John of all people will definitely get a kick out of it. Joe might get mad at me. I don't know.
I would love to have a gambling conversation with Jon Anik, by the way. I feel like we could talk a lot.
Yeah.
God, I wish I knew enough to even have that conversation, because he does know he is so informed on gambling.
Yeah. I try to be. I would love to talk to that guy one day.
Dude,
all right, man.
Thank you so fucking much. You are the best. This is, I mean, it's been incredible. And you like knocked it out of the park. Like we fucking knew you would. But you fucking you thought about your picks. You could tell you put a lot of time thinking about them, and that's really all we ask of guests. And you know, it's happened before, and it has happened before, and like this has been incredible. And your beard looks great, and your hair is amazing. Your eyes are beautiful. I mean,
yeah. My wife Tara and my daughters Kaysen and Jordan love you and appreciate any kind of shout out from you.
Jordan, Kaysen, and Tara.
That's it.
Thank you, guys. Tell them that I appreciate them, and you guys, I appreciate you guys. You know, I see you guys out there, and I'm glad I got on here, man. You guys, you're the shit. This was funny. This was fun, and won't be my last time on.
Oh hell yeah!
Fan-fucking-tastic. We love you, Paul Felder. Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank you, guys.